Hey, what's up everyone? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we are looking at the SH Figuarts Black Ranger, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Black Ranger. Now something a little interesting I just want to point out, he comes with the Red Ranger's sword and the Blue Ranger's little tonfa, not really tonfa, side type things. They're called the Power Lance, and then of course we have the Power Sword, and as you can see right here, this is what it says. It can combine with the parts in Blue Ranger and Yellow Ranger for assembly of the Power Blaster. So I'm not sure about that, because this is from the Blue Ranger. So I don't really understand what's going to happen there. And they don't mention the Pink Ranger at all, so I don't know, maybe I'm forgetting something, I don't remember how that works, but I guess that'll all play out. And these are the other things it comes with. I'll show you those in person though. Before we talk about accessories, let's talk about the figure itself, because that is, after all, the most important part of what comes with a figure, the figure. So he stands pretty much on par with all of the other ones. He is almost 6 inches tall, just a little shy. And he has what appears to be the exact same body as the other Rangers. I'm having an inkling that he's got a little more muscle to him, although I really don't think that they would have done that. So I'll have to go back and look, and I'll put a notation in right here, whether or not that's true after I'm done with this review. So let's look at the helmet, which is the most unique thing about him. I think it looks pretty good. I've heard some people say the proportions aren't quite right, but I think it looks alright. He seems to have a bit of a fingerprint on the top of his head, and I haven't touched him yet. It looks like it came out pretty well. So the line work on the helmet looks pretty good. Everything's nice and clean, the gold eyes, everything looks good. The line work on the suit looks good. The gloves though, the painted parts, actually I guess all these parts are painted, but for some reason the forearms on the gloves and then the shin area on the boots, the white looks a little off to me. It looks kind of dirty, or something's going on there. I don't know if it's going to show up on camera for you guys, but it does seem to be slightly off-white. I'm not sure what's up with that. The belt, let's get in real close on the belt, as close as the camera will allow us. You can see it has the little Mastodon coin in the belt. So that's pretty nice. The details there are there. So that's pretty awesome. I do like that a lot. As far as articulation goes, the head, I'm not going to pull it off to show you. Maybe you can see in there a little bit. There's a ball peg in the top of the neck peg for the head, and then there's a ball hinge that is connected to. So pretty good range of motion all the way around. You really shouldn't have any trouble posing him. Just wiggle that around and you can get him pretty much do whatever you want. So that's cool. We have a standard ball peg here where the shoulder joint connects to the torso. It just has this cup around it to hide the joint. And then it's a ball hinge where it actually connects to the arm, so you can get really good range of motion out of that, no problem at all. That is also where you'll find your bicep swivel, though it is quite limited. We do have double jointed elbows, and we have ball hinged wrists, so that'll swivel and hinge and rotate and do everything you want it to do. The hands just snap on to a little tiny ball peg, as we've seen before. And he does have quite a few hands, so I'll mention those as we get there. Torso articulation, he can lean back a little bit, can't lean forward at all. That's still, to me, a big detriment. I wish they would do something about that, but at this point it's probably too late to change it on the upcoming ones, and it is certainly too late to change it on these guys. So we're kind of stuck with it. You don't get much swivel, you don't get much side to side, you don't get much of anything out of that diaphragm joint, so that's a little disappointing. The waist articulation, again, it's kind of limited. You can swivel it, but it's really tight, and it works, but then you have to stretch the belt a little bit or lift it up. It's alright, I don't mind it. I think it's fine. It's just not, it's not great, it's just fine. So that's, it's no big deal. The, what's that called? Blaster? I don't remember. The blaster thingy pouch sheath does swivel, so that's nice. The hips have the drop down ball peg, so you can bring that down and bring the leg up all the way if you want to, so that's pretty cool. You can see how there's two layers here. The outer layer will swivel over that second layer, that inner layer, so that's pretty nice. And then you can just bring it back up to hide the joint, so that's cool. Double jointed knees, still pretty ugly when you use it, but it probably won't be too bad once you get them in a pose. You'll probably not notice it too much. They are double jointed though, and the ankles have ball hinges, still limited going forward. So out of all the SH Figuarts figures that I have, or other Bandai figures, the Power Rangers are lacking in the range of motion department. They're still fine, but they're not ideal. It's quite limited going forward. You can spin that around to give him an ankle rocker, as you can see, so that's pretty good. I do like that. It will swivel on both ends and has the hinge. And then lastly, we have the toe hinge. So that's pretty nice. The paints are fairly well done all the way around. It's just that the boots and the gloves do have a bit of an off-white tinge. Now let's take a look at the accessories. First, we have his axe. If I can get it out of the package, trusty knife. What the axe is called offhand is the Power Axe. I remembered it just in the nick of time by reading it off of the instruction sheet. Very well done. We have the yellow lines going horizontally here and then the white lines going vertically. Very nicely painted. The silver is great. The yellow on the black parts, pretty well done. It could be slightly better, but in terms of yellow paint going on black, that's pretty darn good, and it's definitely better than just about any other figure I've ever seen with yellow paint on it, so that's nice. We have the gold in there, and it just looks pretty good. He does have the hands to hold it as the blaster or as the axe. I'll show you those when I get to the hands, but just for quick size comparison, the axe is nicely scaled for the figure. He has, what is this thing called? The Thunder Slinger? I don't know if it even says on here. It does, and that's what they say. It's called a Thunder Slinger. You can't separate these. It's all put together. I don't remember this ever from the show, so I can't really talk about it too much other than the sculpted and painted details are phenomenal. They're extremely well done. I don't think you could do any better than that. That's really, really nicely detailed. And then we have the unopened version of the Dagger, and that is how that's going to stay. Doesn't open up to be the blaster. That's why it's a little odd that we don't have the standard blaster. We have the closed one and then the combined one. A little disappointing, but no biggie. And that will fit into his pouch. I don't remember which way, probably like this. I guess it's really a holster, not a pouch. It fits in one of the ways, or at least it's supposed to. Haven't taken this guy out of the package yet. Yeah, it's pretty stiff either way, so you're going to have to give it a little force probably. But if it's like all the other Power Rangers, there we go. It should fit in, no problem, and look pretty cool. Alright, so I guess we can look at the Blue Rangers lances, I guess is what they called them. They should, yeah, I guess they don't peg together, so I'm not sure. I guess this is only for the combination. I guess we're going to have to wait and see how that works out. But it does have, they do have really nice paintwork. Everything looks good, so that's cool. And then the sword we've seen twice now from both different Red Rangers. I think maybe even the Green Ranger came with one. Did he? No, he had. Yeah, maybe he did. I don't know. But either way, it looks great as always. You can see the little T-Rex coin on there. Or the logo, anyway. And I don't know if that's supposed to look like that. It looks like my T-Rex just isn't very well done on the back. So that's a little disappointing. But everything else is pretty well done. And it looks to me like this one is definitely meant for only the combination because it has this groove here, no paint detail, and luckily that's the side that has the bad paintwork. So these two weapons are clearly only for the combination. As I said, we'll see how that plays out. As for the hands, we have a total of 7 in the package, plus the 2 that were already on him. So 9 hands in total. That's pretty impressive. These 2 hands look to be the ones for holding his axe, so we can hold it either way. We have the hand, which is for using it as the blaster, which goes on just like that. He holds it very well. Everything fits together as it should. This hand would be the supporting hand, like, I guess it doesn't actually grab on too much, but either way, he can hold it just the way he needs to, like that. Or I don't know if he has a different hand for holding it. Let's see, if this is the only hand for holding it like this, that's going to be a little disappointing just because it doesn't have a very good grip. I mean, you can force it on there, but it's not great. So let's see what other hands we have. I'm going through these as you guys are. The 2 fists are on there, we know that. So let's look at the hands he has here. This one has a pretty wide grip, so I'm thinking that that is meant for this. Let's see if we can fit it in there. Without breaking anything, we can. So that's the hand for that. Okay, so don't use the supporting hand for the blaster mode for the axe mode. That one holds it just fine. Do we have one for both sides? I don't know. This one is clearly for, well, I'm guessing it's for, excuse me, for holding that weapon right there. Then we have another one which I'm guessing is for holding one of the swords maybe, or something else. It's another gripping hand. Looks like they're throwing in extra hands for extra things. This one is really thin. I don't know what that is for, and it doesn't say, so your guess is as good as mine. And then lastly we have another semi-large hand, which would be for holding the axe, I'm guessing. Let's find out. So it looks like we're starting to get some accessories. Well, obviously we're starting to get some accessories for some forward thinking. I'm not sure how that's going to pan out even with those hands. This hand doesn't even want to fit over that, so I'm thinking it's not even for it. So I'm not sure. We got a bunch of hands, definitely the ones we need to hold his weapon and the blaster or the thunder slinger. And as far as anything else goes, your guess is as good as mine, probably. We'll see in the near future. So there it is. There's the Black Ranger. You know, just like all the other Power Rangers, if you're getting the Power Rangers, this one is one to get. If you don't particularly care about them, this probably isn't a must-have figure. There are enough small issues with it that if you're not into the Power Rangers, you're not building the team, it's probably an easy pass. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.